Flipside readers. Before reading my letter, I'd like you to take a look at the Naked Aggression interview in the September 94 issue. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the one with the Jello Biafra thing. I tell you for sure, but the one I've got is missing the cover. In mid-September of 95, a friend and I took over the promo of a Naked Aggression show. We took on this financial responsibility in hopes of stirring up Joplin, Missouri's stagnant punk scene while bringing in some relatively fresh ideas and faces. So I was given the number of their manager and told to call her. This struck me as funny. A DIY punk band had a manager. Oh well, I thought. Maybe this was the way bands did shit. I was from a small town and this was the first show I'd ever put on. So I called her. I must admit, I was pretty intimidated. I was getting ready to talk to a woman who booked bands like the Queers in 7 seconds. The first time I called her, I got a machine, but finally I got to speak to a human. She seemed nice, a little too businesslike for me, but I dealt with it. We agreed to a guarantee of $200. Set the date at Wednesday, October 25th, and a door cover of $4 at the door. I proceeded to do promo. I ran off 1,700 flyers for about $50. I got the money from selling our band's tickets. I hoped to make the money back. Silly me. While my partner ran off 12 11 by 17-inch full-color posters for about $25. We then made promo packs. Each pack had 200 flyers and a poster. We put them together and sent one to KC, Springfield, Lawrence, Tulsa, Wichita, and Fayetteville. That and long-distance phone calls took my total cost to about $100. The bands we booked were Brother Inferior from Tulsa, Black Label from Lawrence, and our band, the Richards. We decided to hold the show at a place called the Dead Cowboy. Since we were running a tight budget and the bands were playing with Naked Aggression, they only wanted gas money. The club wanted $100, no more, no less. This brought our total cost up to $250. This was when we started to run into problems. The club the show was at was an old metalhead collective type thing, if you can imagine that. The guy who ran the place didn't have a license and so dealt with the local pigs regularly. The last show our band had played had gotten shut down. This problem we solved with true punk rock ingenuity. Instead of putting on the flyer $4 at the door, we put $4 mandatory donation at the door. I don't know about elsewhere, but in Joplin, you can't charge people at the door unless you have a business license. But since we're Americans, we have a right to gather, so we gathered while charging mandatory donations. We only put these special flyers up in Joplin, about 500 flyers, so all the rest that was sent except $4 at the door. Then problem number 2 arose. Black Label canceled on me to put the band holidays. So I got another band, Psycho Babble. Logic also hit me. I didn't know where else Naked Aggression was playing in the Midwest. So again I called Marge, the manager. I updated her on the progress of the show and asked her about a list of tour locations. She didn't say anything about the list, but seemed skeptical about the number of bands playing and about the club situation. I reassured her about everything, and she told me Naked Aggression wanted 50% of all profits if applicable. I agreed to this with a little hesitation and relayed my problem to her. She gave me Mighty's number and told me to call her. When I talked to Kirsten, she seemed pretty interested. I had sent them a promo pack for a band when I confirmed the show. She thought that was a pleasant surprise and asked me about Joplin. She was kind of worried about the cops and rednecks in the area and told me it would run in Naked Aggression had sound in their bill. I told her they shouldn't have a problem, and then told her about the incident G.G. Allen had when he showed up here. I also thought that the crowd would be relatively larger than usual because of the amount of promo. Overall, she was very nice and seemed very excited about playing down here. When I got off the phone, I felt very excited about playing the show. The next 2 weeks went pretty smooth. We expected about 200 people on a weekday night for the show. This was good. We only needed 122 people to break even. Factoring in a sound man and Naked Aggression's cost, my total was $490. As far as I was concerned, we were doing our job remarkably well. At about 3:30 p.m. on October 18th, I received a phone call. It was Margie. She told me that Naked Aggression was canceling because one of the band members had asthma. How convenient, a week before the show. We didn't talk long. She had a lot of errands to do. So did I. I made the 30 minutes of phone calls necessary to cancel the show. Everyone was pissed. So now what? Well, in theater, there's a saying that goes well with punk rock. The show must go on. I booked Brother Inferior as the headlining band. They wanted an extra $45 since Naked Aggression wasn't playing. This brought my total down to $335. Since I was broke, I spread the change and plans by word of mouth around town. On the night of the show, about 70 paying people showed up. Actually, 110, but the rest were either broke or on the guest list, just to support the local scene. I lost about $90 on this little venture, but I didn't mind because it was my choice to keep the show going. But in the end, it was a great turnout for a weeknight punk show in Joplin. I had a blast. By the following Thursday, I was back on the phone trying to get in touch with Kirsten. When I called, some guy answered. He told me Kirsten was out on tour. I told him I had booked them, but the manager told me they canceled the rest of their dates. He told me that they just took a vacation for a week. I ended up leaving a message to the effect that because of their little vacation, they had lost about 30 fans, and to call me to explain until this day she hasn't called. Now, I'm not trying to start shit up. I'm just voicing a common problem that has arisen with the business-like MTV hustling, money-loving mentality of bands. What happened to the common bond and understanding the difficulties of putting on a show yourself? What happened to the appreciation? What happened to the battle cry, fuck corporate rock? No, wait, I got another one that's not so obvious. Fuck bureaucratic rock. This sickening display of bureaucratic ritualism defined as a preoccupation with organizational rules and regulations to the point of thwarting the group's goals is what punk rock, so I thought, was against. Kirsten, I hope this was not your fault. I hope you had little to do with this. All I want is an explanation and an apology. It's about 2 months since the show, and I have yet to hear from you. I wasted my time and my band's resources to get you a crowd, a guarantee, and your manager her precious money. I wouldn't have minded dishing out the cash if you had showed up, or even called yourself, but you didn't, and I still missed out. Thanks, guys. If I'm wrong, you can call me with an apology for wasting my time. The way I see it, Naked Aggression didn't show up to play in Joplin because Margie found them a better offer somewhere else. That's why Margie didn't give me a list of other locations, because she didn't want to face the problems if she backed out on me. She didn't want me hunting the band down. All these East and West Coast bigwig punks tell us to get off our asses and do something. But when we do get off our ass, we get shit on by these people. Fuck that. I live in the Midwest where the only time we get decent shows is when a band goes out of its way to play here. The rest of the time is spent with local bands, but people hear that they are from smaller cities and they roll their eyes. Fuck that. It takes a lot of balls to be the way we are in these orifices of ignorance, where every day you're getting threatened or beat up by redneck jocks or Bible thumpers. You at least have a place to hide. In Joplin, there is no place to hide. Down here, it's against the law to be ugly. Can you believe that? The goddamn cops can arrest you for being a freak. And the bands from the East and West who tell you to do something for the scene cancel on you. Most people out there have said, fuck it. Not me. I say, fuck the mainstream punk rock. I'm concentrating on the Midwest scene. Old school all the way, baby. If you want to play out here, call me. But right now, I'm not dealing with fucking managers and I'm not dealing with fucking guarantees. You fuckers are just going to have to trust me. I'm sick of our part of the world getting ignored. We exist and we fucking care. We're sick of getting pissed on by money-grabbing DIY punk bands, rock star assholes, or out-of-town know-it-all punk rockers. Fuck that. As far as you're concerned, if you live in this part of the community, you've had this happen to you. You want to play one of our shows, or you just want to know more about the Midwest Underground, call or write me at Dan Johnston, 528 North Pearl, Joplin, Missouri, 64801, 1-417-623-5663.